I come to you from renovation chaos with a fashion video, although I think it is a little bit far-fetched. That could have been a very nice segue into this video's sponsor, which is Farfetch, to call it a fashion video. It's more just a video of outfits that I have worn recently that have put a bit of a spring in my step, shall we say. Winter has been long, and it finally feels like we're coming out of the other end. I know I had a 6-week break of sun and just glorious, glorious weather and dressing. However, coming off the back of that to returning to snow, I was just like, how is this still going? But we're finally kind of creeping into those double digits, and it's staying in double digits, which is nice. I love winter dressing, don't get me wrong. When autumn comes around, I get very excited. However, I hit a wall post-Christmas where I just crave spring and a change in the weather and the change in dressing. So these are some outfits that have felt like a bit of a change, because I feel like I was in a bit of a rut of just kind of wearing the same thing over and over. So these feel like a bit of a change for me. They're by no means innovative or overly exciting, but they've made me feel a bit better about myself in the morning when getting dressed. This one's sponsored by Farfetch. Those of you who watch regularly will know I work with Farfetch from time to time, and all that means is that some of the pieces in this video will have been gifted to me by Farfetch, but it'll all be like mixed in with things I have, things I already own, so it doesn't feel overly sponsored or anything like that. It's a very natural partnership that I've very much enjoyed doing. So that also means I get to give you a discount code, which is BB10FF, if I remember correctly. I've got some paper in the way there. It will be on the screen here, and it will also be in the description box, along with all the T's and C's. So use that if you have your eye on anything on Farfetch, which I do always, pretty much. So without further ado, on to the outfits. I hope you enjoy. Right, what you can't hear behind the scenes is Dean, the other side of this wall, steaming the ceiling to get rid of wallpaper that is stuck on the hallway ceiling. And I'm trying my best each time I get dressed to not touch anything so I don't get any dust or plaster on my clothes. This probably wasn't my finest idea to try and film in a house that's also having work done. I just needed a bright backdrop. This one's a regularly repeated work outfit because it feels quite like a good balance of smart casual. It's easy to chuck on because it's made up of just staple pieces that I often repeat. And you're all probably very familiar with these jeans and loafers by now. And it's comfortable, which is kind of the priority. 90% of the time when I'm getting dressed, especially for work, I'm always trying to create a balance between smart and casual. Feeling put together, but comfortable in what I'm wearing at the same time. And I think this is a perfect example of that. So I'm wearing a black merino wool turtleneck from Uniqlo. Not quite warm enough to lose the knitwear just yet, with faded black weekday rail jeans and my black GH Plus loafers. I've used a chunky silver belt buckle from Arket to separate the top and the bottom, but I'm not really too fussed about adding any more bells and whistles to this. I think the belt just kind of feels like enough for just a normal kind of day at work. Because, very excitingly, we are edging towards spring weather, I can finally get away with wearing a trench. Not quite t-shirt and trench weather, but I can get away with knit runner trench. So I'm adding this grey-toned taupe trench from Totem to the look. I think because of the grey-toned taupe, it works really well with the grey faded look of the jeans. And it's got a built-in scarf, which is very handy for someone like me that finds scarves just quite annoying. So the fact that this one is attached is great, and you kind of have that option when it gets chillier in the evening to wrap it around your neck. It can be worn like fully wrapped around as a scarf, or a half wrap like I'm styling it now, which is my preferred way to wear it. Or you can just wear the scarf bit hanging down so it looks like a sort of oversized lapel detail. To create a bit of a high-low with the jeans, I'm adding my Celine clasp bag. Usually if I was actually going to work, which you can see by this video I'm not going to work, I would also have a tote bag with me with all of my work stuff in, but for the sake of this video I'm just adding the clasp bag. I'm not sure I'll ever be someone that really wears big displays of multiple colours with my outfits, but something I've increasingly been doing is adding pops of colour to looks.
I know I've said this so many times, but most of my wardrobe is made up of navy, black, grey and beige, which actually makes for a great backdrop for a pop of colour, hence being a pop. Duh. I've introduced a lot of brighter blues recently, and I'm now introducing green, which feels like a nice nod to spring and the warmer weather. This bright primary green really gets me excited for spring. The knit is from James Street. It's part of their new collection. I'm wearing a size small here, but in hindsight, I wish I'd gone for an extra small because it is very oversized. The small still works though. I just have to do a little bit of tucking to create some shape. The V-neck isn't something I usually go for, but it's a nice way to show layers, I think. You can kind of get playful with t-shirts underneath, you can add shirts, and it's also a great way to highlight jewellery. I'm wearing a Ascot t-shirt underneath. It's just one of their plain white ones. If you're looking for a sustainable t-shirt, definitely check out Ascot. Black beaded necklace from Vermeer Studio that they kindly sent me while I was in Australia. You know where the jeans are from, and you know where the loafers are from. Obviously it's not warm enough to wear just this outside. I really wish it was. So I've been putting my Whistles leather jacket on over the top. Because the knit is quite chunky and the leather jacket is quite thick, it acts like a wind stopper, this jacket. It's so good. So along with my beanie, I've been really comfortably warm outside in just this. And then my bag is the good old COS crossbody bag that you're all very, very familiar with. And yeah, this has just been like a regular kind of weekend outfit, brunching outfit. I wore it to the cinema a couple of weeks ago. I don't really know why I'm trying to overanalyze this so much. It's just an outfit. And it's one that I have loved. I've really loved the green against all of the black. This was a recent dinner look I wore when I was in Paris on a work trip, and I love it so much. The collar with the crop jacket does feel very different for me. Those of you that have followed me, actually you don't need to have actually watched or followed me for that long to know how much I wear long layers, long coats. Yeah, you know the drill. I'm not really someone who wears cropped styles often. So for me this felt like a step in a slightly different direction, but I'm so here for it. It's kind of giving Wednesday Addams, but in the best way possible in my opinion. Now the shirt is one of the Le Maire twist shirts from a couple of years ago, but the brand carries this style all year round and rarely changes the collar shape. They always do this beautifully elongated shape, which I think sits really well over the top of this collarless jacket. This is a vintage Armani jacket from, I believe it was from the 90s. I found it in the Farfetch pre-owned section. It's a very deep navy silk jacket with a small cinch detail at the waist. There are shoulder pads, which is something that kind of instills a bit of fear in me, but they aren't huge and it's quite well balanced with the waist detail. To create a bit of a high-low look with this jacket, because I did try this with some wide leg leather trousers at first and it felt a bit too done. Then I tried with tailored trousers, but it felt too much like a pantsuit, and I just thought it's denim that I need to use to bring this jacket back down a bit. So you know which jeans these are. They're going to be a repeat in this video quite often. And I just think they create a good contrast. And I've kind of like sandwiched the jeans in between ballet flats in this smart jacket. So it's kind of like high, low, high. Although they are tabby flats, so they're kind of ugly. So you get this bit of weird clash with like the jacket, the tabby, the jeans. Yeah, it feels like a bit of a mishmash, but I love it. Because of the collar, I was a bit unsure how to add jewellery to this, but I felt it needed something, like a bit like something shiny. Rather than a statement earring, which is usually my go-to, I actually layered a necklace under the collar that has a shell clasp, and I just positioned it so it kind of looks like the shell could be a button on the jacket. Then I used a silver belt to sort of tie that all together and used my Porto pouch as a handbag. I'm also now going to show you how I would style this jacket for spring, just by removing the shirt and changing the jeans. You can see I'm still wearing the same necklace, but I've just changed the jeans for a bit of more of a flowy silk trouser. This is another work look I've worn several times over the past couple of weeks. I definitely overestimated how warm it was outside when I thought I could get away with just a shirt and a leather jacket, but the gloves and the beanie that I had at the end definitely helped. But this is always the case when we transition into spring, isn't it? There's like a window of severe misjudgment where you get it wrong. I like the preppy feel of this, the mix of the shirt, the cords, the wallabies, and then the leather jacket that I'll put on in just a moment, all work great together and create a good balance of preppy, with the leather sort of slightly toughening it up a bit. It stops it from being like old geographer teacher kind of preppy and takes it into like the sort of Strokes indie type of preppy. This shirt is from Nothing Written. a Korean brand I've mentioned a few times. It's a great beige because it's not too warm and it's not too cool tone. It just sits slap bang in the middle, and the fit is just right as well. The cords are also from Nothing Written. They're quite a chunky cord. Because I wear a lot of black and navy, sometimes I feel outfits can feel a little flat, so I try and introduce different textures to lift things. In this case, the texture of the cord mixed with the suede of the wallabies and then the leather jacket makes it all feel a bit more interesting. I could have easily worn a pair of black tailored trousers with this shirt, but I think that would have felt way too flat. And just a quick note, wallabies are such a comfortable shoe. That's all that needs to be said about them. And then I've added a cos belt with gold hardware. I'm adding my Whistles leather jacket over the top with a grey beanie. And then just like the first outfit, I would have worn like a tote bag full of work stuff with this as well. But in this case, I've just added my Bindle bag from the Row. Adding some blue denim back into the outfit rotation. It feels like it's been a while, especially after what seems like a long dark winter of just wearing dark grey jeans. This is a super casual one. This is an outfit I've worn on the days where I felt a bit meh, you know, but I don't want to wear black. The jeans are from Tove, and I was drawn to them because of the vibrant blue colour. They feel brighter than your usual jean, a bit more of a pop. There's no distressing or faded patches or anything like that on them. They're just a really good block blue. On the model, obviously, they look completely different. I think they're more cropped on the model, or more of an ankle length, but because I'm 5'3", they're a lot longer and slouchy on me. But I don't hate that. I'm quite into them. But I've had to do a little turn up, and I think with my wallabies, it works. I've paired the jeans with an old Vince Cashmere Turtleneck and the beige suede Clark's wallabies. Because I've worn this on a few grey and windy days, I've still been wearing a big coat. So for practical purposes, I'm wearing my Studio Nicholson trench. It's quite heavy, like it completely envelops me, and I love it because I feel really shielded from all of the elements in this coat, and I can like pop the collar and like feel really protected from the wind. To kind of brighten it up, I guess I've added my Acne Masubi. I still love this bag so much after almost 7 years, I think. I love this bag, just adore it. It's probably one of the best handbag purchases I've ever made. And then Holzweiler cream scarf to kind of match the bag, and just it's like another pop against the coat, really, isn't it? Full transparency, I did not wear this look out of the house. This was another case of me getting too ahead of myself at the sign of sunshine. This was ridiculous. I don't know why I thought I'd be able to wear this outside and be okay, but I'm going to include it in this video because I'll definitely wear it in the future. It's a great one for spring. So yeah, here I am chucking a spring fit into the mix. A simple casual look that I'd wear at the weekend. I mean, it's another outfit that doesn't really require any deep analysis, let's be honest. T-shirt is from the Row. It's a cropped fit with a cut hem and sleeves, so it gives it a rolled effect. Jeans are these big, baggy Cordera jeans. I've used them to sort of create some balance between the silhouette of the t-shirt. They're very wide. The denim is dark, not quite black, grey or indigo. It's almost a mix of all three. From afar, they probably look like a dark grey, but upon a closer inspection, there is a hint of indigo in there. They've also got an elasticated waist and belt loops, which I always appreciate because you can easily wear these low waist or belt them and wear them a bit higher. I would love to wear this with, looking at it now, I'd love to wear this with a pair of like little glove flats. I have a pair of the white Martiniano flats from years and years ago, and I think they'd look really cool with this. But in this case, I've paired them with the Marie H sneakers from the Row. I got them through Vestiaire Collective, and if you're also looking for a pair, do check out VC because they often have pairs on there. And then just to play with shapes a bit more, I'm adding the curved sleeve Totem trench and a wee pop of colour, and just kind of like an interesting accessory, I'm wearing this orange mosquito beaded necklace. And that, my friends, is my final look. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll try to do another one actually when we're like deeper into spring and the weather is a bit better. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.